So here's the letter. Dear Senator, greetings. Thank you for taking the time to read my letter. I really appreciate it. My name is Nisin R. Lopez. I'm a 43-year-old Cuban American artist based in Miami, Florida. I am contacting you in order to denounce a hideous crime that is being perpetrated against me here in Miami, Florida. I'm talking about contract stalking sponsored by governmental institutions. Yes, I am a targeted individual. I've been experiencing organized community harassment sponsored by the authorities since January of 2011. This thing ruined my life. You might be saying to yourself, what exactly is organized stalking, right? Well, this is not easy to explain. One could say that contract stalking or is bullying on steroids. Organized stalking, covert harassment, or community-based mobbing is pretty much a form of political repression, extrajudicial punishment. Organized stalking is a secret program of the United States government designed to destroy targeted individuals emotionally and psychologically through dark neurolinguistic programming and negative aversive stimuli. We're talking here about state-sponsored psychological terrorism in the name of social engineering. And before I continue, yes, I know there are good people in the FBI. Yes, there are good people working in the fusion centers. Yes, there are good people in the police. I understand this. But the bottom line is, corrupt people in positions of power are behind the targeted individual program and they are destroying lives, no question about it. As far as the organized community harassment done to me every single time I go out into the general public, the unjust systematic harassment is done by a group of people in an organized fashion using unethical means to torment, preoccupy, agitate, intimidate, and terrorize the isolated victim 24/7 no matter where he goes. I'm talking about community-based mobbing done by civilians, based on choice reference patterns. The targeted individual is exposed to a stressor outside the range of usual human experience. He is terrorized 365 days a year, 24/7. He is kept in a state of anxiety and hypervigilance until he finally breaks down after years of indescribable psychological abuse. Most victims of this program end up homeless, in jail, or in psychiatric institutions, discredited, with no support system, broken in spirit. Once a targeted individual is labeled as mentally unfit, his credibility is out of the window. Overall, organized stalking is a secret, illegal, long-term, unconstitutional surveillance program designed to neutralize politically incorrect freethinkers that are designated as enemies of the state, even if they are just innocent, harmless, law-abiding citizens that pose no real threat to anyone. So now, who are the agent provocateurs recruited by the authorities that constantly harass the targeted individual in an organized fashion? Well, they are called surveillance role players or citizens on patrol. They believe they are patriots and heroes serving a noble cause. They come from all types of social backgrounds. We're talking here about men, women, old, young, rich, poor, etc. Most of them are bottom feeders. These mindless automatons are brainwashed into believing that the target is a really bad person, a terrorist, a murderer, or a sex offender, like a rapist or a child molester. We're talking here about a professional character assassination campaign, a clandestine civil military operation. Basically, law enforcement and the intelligence community using the civilian sector as irregular forces. This is some serious shit, you know? Keep in mind that the targeted individual is also subjected to directed energy weapons and other forms of psychological torture. I'm talking here about remote neuro-influencing. In our modern days, the military has access to a sophisticated technology known as transcranial stimulation. Some call it synthetic telepathy, neuro-nanotechnology. This secret technology of DARPA flavor enables the handlers to insert thoughts, words, phrases, images, impulses, dream videos, etc. into the target's psyche, especially if the highly traumatized victim is in an altered state, in a state of functional disorientation. Thanks to brain-to-computer interface, they can make a digital clone of the target's brain. We're talking here about a system of neurocognitive warfare, AAA, access, assess, and affect. All the experiences of the human test subject are stored in a supercomputer that predicts behavior based on past choices. The computer literally resonates with the biofrequency of the target, you know? We're talking here about a reverse engineering behavioral modification program, a military experiment, non-therapeutic, non-consensual human experimentation. The CIA doesn't know that this is going on? Of course they do. So, on one hand, we got heavy, overwhelming, multi-layered harassment based on choice reference patterns. Then, Black Ops neuro weapons capable of depriving a person of sleep. We're talking here about a perfected breakdown tactic on the human will. So who's behind this? Well, this is a secret, multi-layered interagency program. Everything seems to indicate that the mighty FBI of John Edgar Hoover is behind this. The folks in fusion centers, they are behind this. The local police is involved, of course. One way or another, all the institutions of state are complicit in this insane vigilante operation known as covert organized stalking. Not so long ago, the State Department spokeswoman Elizabeth Trude acknowledged that the Russian intelligence was using unethical means in order to harass U.S. diplomats in Russia. Not so long ago, mainstream media legitimized the experience of the U.S. diplomats in Cuba and in China who experienced sonic attacks, microwave weapons. But if I say that I am being unjustly and systematically harassed in America by people who work for the government, then I am delusional and paranoid. I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? So, my dear friend, basically, I am contacting you to see if you can help me expose these domestic terrorists who are behind the targeted individual program. I want tranquility. I want peace. I want these corrupt people to leave me alone. Is that too much to ask? I would like to respectfully clarify I am not trying to insult anyone with this letter. I am not trying to be confrontational in a subliminal way. And no, I am not trying to demonize the US government. I am very grateful that I have been given the great opportunity to come to America. I'm very proud of the American flag. I just want these corrupt, evil people in positions of authority to stop harassing me. I am not a criminal, you know, I am not a terrorist, I am not a serial killer, and I am not a sex offender. I'm just an artist into old school heavy metal rock. These folks in law enforcement that are recruiting civilians in order to harass me left and right, they are spreading a false narrative so that people will hate me. They've been doing this crap, since January of 2011. I ask you the following. How would you feel if you would know that corrupt people in positions of power are going around in your neighborhood telling people that you're a terrorist, a serial killer, a rapist, or a child molester? A defamation campaign. This is how they recruit foot soldiers that will be willing to mess with you every time you are in the general public. I'm talking here about choreographed street theater, noise campaigns, acts of provocation, mimicking, rude behavior, verbal breakdown, invasion of space, engineered collisions, orchestrated synchronicities, entrapment, etc. All kinds of horrible things. This is the kind of thing I've been experiencing since January of 2011 until now. We're in 2019. It's been a while. Years of my life lost. Years. I know that as you read this, maybe you're wondering who pulled the strings, so that you will be placed in this program. Well, it's a very long and complicated story. Some influential people in Miami, Florida pulled the strings so that I would be crucified through this torture program. So here's a summary, of what these cowards are doing to me. Number one, unjust, systematic, organized community harassment, stalking, nonstop, 24/7, 365 days a year, every time I'm in the general public. I'm talking here about negative, aversive stimuli and dark neuro-linguistic programming. This is designed to cause a nervous breakdown in the long run. Number two, trauma-based mind control technology, remote neuro-influencing. Every time I go to sleep, they use synthetic telepathy in order to implant disgusting, unnatural stuff into my psyche. Words, phrases, images, impulses, dream videos, etc. The idea behind this is to make me believe that those are my real thoughts when they are not. A mind rape operation. They are blasting my psyche with these electronic assaults. We're talking here about a personality disintegration program. Basically, these corrupt folks behind this sick interagency program are blasting my mind every day. When I go into the streets, they got agent provocateurs messing with me everywhere. And when I go to sleep, well, they got individuals that are getting paid to blast my mind with military technology. How nice, right? This secret government program is going to be exposed on national TV eventually. Everyone in America is going to find out. Go to YouTube and type this: remote neural monitoring, military operator exposes top secret info. We're talking here about the testimony of a combat veteran who became a targeted individual. The day will come when everyone in America is gonna know that about the targeted individual program. You can bet on it. As of today, most people in America know that September 11th was an inside job So eventually, everyone in America is going to know that the US government was conducting diabolical mind control experiments on innocent, harmless, law abiding citizens like myself. Thank you again. I apologize for any inconvenience. Goodbye. And then I signed the letter.